The U.S. and China might be inching their way towards signing that Phase 1 trade deal finally. This is based on some new optimism from Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. Jess Smith is live in Washington to give us an update on the comments from Ross and the reaction in D.C. Jess?
Yeah, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross says he is optimistic about getting Phase 1 of this trade deal done. He is in Bangkok for an economic summit, and at that meeting on the sidelines, we know he met with a Chinese official. Before that meeting, he did an interview with Bloomberg, and he says negotiations are in good shape, negotiators are making progress, and he said there's no reason why it couldn't still get done this month, but he did hedge a little bit and say there is always the possibility that things slip up a little bit. He said there is not necessarily an obstacle in the way at this point, but he says both sides are trying to make sure they have a clear understanding of what exactly they are agreeing to. Now, President Trump and President Xi were supposed to meet in Chile at the APEC summit, but now that that's not happening, it's not clear when and where this could take place, where the two leaders could meet to potentially sign this deal. The Trump administration has floated Alaska, Iowa, Hawaii as some locations that could be possible, but negotiators are still trying to work that out. So that's something that we're watching. And Ross also made some comments about Huawei. He said licenses for U.S. businesses to be able to sell products to Huawei should be coming shortly, but he would not elaborate on when exactly that could be. Dan?
Jess, I'm just curious, for us here on the couches, almost every few days we hear that some official in the administration is optimistic that the Phase 1 trade deal will be signed soon. So I feel like we've been burned before. I mean, I remember it was already 2 or maybe even 3 weeks ago that President Trump tweeted and said it was about to be signed, and then, well, not quite yet. And then last week, the president said, oh, we're 60% of the way there. What do you make of that progression? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of skepticism when we get these reports that, oh, it's coming soon.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of skepticism because this has dragged on for so long. I think that people are a little more optimistic that Phase 1 could get done, but once you get beyond that, Phase 2 or Phase 3, I think that is going to be a lot more difficult, and people are very skeptical that that would happen because, I mean, just both sides haven't really given very much to get to that Phase 2 yet. So that's, I think, where there's the most skepticism in this.
Yeah, before we can even think about Phase 2 and 3, let's see if Phase 1 gets signed. Thanks, Jess.
Of course.
Hey investors, Sac Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.